So welcome back once again. We're going to discuss math class functions or methods. So these math class functions are actually, they can be called as library functions as well. These are built-in methods and they are there to basically help us to make our life easy. Think about it, if we have to write a program every time to calculate the power of a number, or if we have to write a program inside a program to calculate the square root of a number, well, our life is going to become a hell. Therefore, Java provides these methods to basically assist us. So we'll be doing it in 2-3 parts. First, we are going to discuss math.max, min, and pow, maybe square root, and then we'll discuss the rest of them. So let's begin. So my first method is math.max, and as you know, it has a syntax, takes two arguments or parameters. Okay, arguments are here. It takes a and b. If you can see, two arguments it takes. If the arguments are integer, okay, if they are integer, then it returns integer value. And if a and b are double or float, then it is going to return double or float. So it depends what type of value arguments have. The same type of value it is actually going to return. So what does math.max do? It actually finds the maximum of any two numbers. Let's see how the program actually works. So this is a small program that I have here. Okay, so this is a small program I have, and you can see, right? So I've taken two variables here. Okay, both are integer, and I'm storing the value that this function is going to return. Most functions or all these functions will return values. So it's going to return a value, and that is going to be the maximum of a and b, and then I'm printing it here. I have printed it in style. So I print the maximum of a, like whatever the value of a is 10, and the value of b will be printed here, and then the outcome, that's the c, is going to be printed. Okay, so I have concatenated it so that it looks little better, but you can do it simply as well. So if I run this program, you see the maximum value of 10 and 20 is equals to 20. So that is the maximum value. Okay, so this is indirectly I've done. You can do it directly as well. You know what does directly means? You can directly write this inside the method. So I'll copy it. Okay, and I can write it here straight away. Okay, and I'll remove this. I don't need it. Okay, so if I run, see that the maximum of 20. Okay, it doesn't look that nice. So I deleted everything, but I can do that again. The maximum of a plus and plus b equals to, okay, so it will give you the same result. So I run it. The maximum of 10 and 20 is equal to 20. Okay, so what does math.max do? It actually returns the maximum of any two values. If these values are double, okay, it should return a double value. Yeah, it returns a double value. You can see that. Let's see what happens if one is double, the other one is integer. What does it do? Okay, let's see what does it do. Okay, it still returns double. And the reason for that is because double is a bigger value. Double is 64-bit and integer is 32-bit. So, you know, like the conversion happens automatically. So that's why it does it. Okay. So this is math.max. If we want to do math.min, okay, let's change it to integer only, and the minimum of a and b, and here I'll have math.min. min. Okay, so it will find the minimum of the two. Okay, so it returns you 10. That's what math.min does. Okay, so math.min will also take two parameters. Math.min will also take two parameters or arguments, and then it is going to return the minimum of those two numbers. So that's what math.min does. Now let's have a look at math.pow, means math.power. So I will take a number, let's say my number is 5 and power, let's say 3. Okay, and I'll just go there, write it like math.pow of number and power is, yeah. Okay, so when I run, what does it do? See that 125. Okay, that is the power of cube of 5, and my power is 3. So 5 to the power 3 is 125. 5 to the power 3 is 125, and keep in mind its return type is double. No matter what the input values are, it is going to return a double value. So if you want to do it twice, that is the to the power 2. So I run and it gives me 25. So math.pow takes one parameter. Okay, so math.pow takes one parameter and its return type is, so we move up. So math.pow it takes one parameter, two parameters, sorry, or arguments. Okay, so the first argument is when I write math.pow a comma b, a is the number and b is the power. Okay, and its return type is double always. Okay, its return type is double. You have to keep in mind the return types, and the reason is if an output question is asked and if I say 5 to the power 2 and you write 25, it is not conceptually, I mean, not correct, because it will print 25.0, which means that its return type is this. Okay, right? So let's have a look at another method, and that is going to be sqrt, math.sqrt, square root. Okay, so let's say number is 25 and it takes one parameter, math.sqrt, and its return type will always be double. So when I run it, you see that. Okay, so math.sqrt, what does it do? It basically returns the square root of a number. It returns the square root of a number. So when I run it, and its return type is double. Okay, just keep in mind math.sqrt's return type is double. So I go up, math.sqrt, it returns, calculates the square root of a number. Okay, and only takes a single argument. Right, and its return type is double. Okay, so that's what math.sqrt does, and we depicted it here. What does math.sqrt does? Okay, so this is the, you can do it directly or you can do it indirectly. Like I can say here double, and I say result is my variable, And here I'll just write this. Okay, and I'll write result here. Okay, so I can run. When I run, it will give me 5. Okay, so I can do it directly or I can do it indirectly as well. So in this line, the next one is going to be the cube root. So 125 math.cbrt. Okay, so let's see what it does it do. It gives me the cube root 5. Okay, so the cube root of 125 is 5. So that's what CBRT does. And keep in mind math.cbrt's return type is also double. Okay, so math.cbrt does what SQRT, I mean just a little difference. So math.cbrt, okay, what does it do? It calculates the cube root of a number, takes only one parameter or argument, right? And its return type is return type double. Okay, its return type is double, right? That's what math.cbrt does. And the next function that we are going to look at is ABS, absolute value. Okay, so if this is minus 125, it is going to return me the absolute value of, okay, right? So that's how it is. So I'm going to run. So it returns me 125. So it will remove this sign from there, okay? Because what is the actual value of minus 125? The actual value of minus 125 is 125. So we ignore this minus sign over there, then it returns us this. And keep in mind, if the number is integer, its return type will be integer. If the number is, let's say, double, its return type is going to be double. Okay, so I run it and its return type will be double. Okay, so this is indirect. As I said, we can write it directly also, these things. It's not that we have to write it always like this. So I'll cut and paste it here. Okay, and if I run it, since that value is double, it is returning me double. Okay, so if it is plus, well, it will remain as it is because plus sign is anyway not shown anywhere. So that's how it is. So what does ABS do? The ABS method returns the absolute value of a number. That's what ABS does. Okay, so what does ABS do? The ABS method calculates the absolute value of a number. Okay, so takes one parameter or argument. Okay, and if a is equal to minus 125, it will return 125. Okay, and if its input value or the value of the parameter or the argument is integer, it will return you integer. If it is double, then it is going to return you the double value. Okay, so that's what math.abs does, right? So now the next method that we are going to do is math.ceil. Okay, so what does math.ceil do? You know, these are rounding off. Math.ceil, math.floor, and math.round. All these three functions, they basically, what do they do? They round off numbers. Okay, rounding off, you know what rounding off is. Most of you must have done it in maths. So what do we do in maths is, if there is a number 12.5 and if we have to round it off, it actually becomes 13, right? And if there is a number 12.4, it basically will become 12. Okay, so that's what rounding off is, which means if it is more than, greater than, or equal to 5, then it will be rounded up. If it is less than 5, then it is going to be rounded down. Okay, so the job of math.ceil is to round it up. Okay, even if the value is 12.4, it will be 13. If it is 12.6, it will be 13. So rounded up. Floor means, sorry, math.ceil. Ceil means ceiling. Ceil, C-E-I-L, ceil. Ceil means ceiling, that is roof. Okay, so roof is always up. So just keep in mind like that. Ceil means ceiling, so it will round it up. Even if it is 12.4 or 12.5 or 12.6, okay, and it takes one parameter, and its return type is return type double. Okay, its return type is double. So let's see here. So I have this number 12.4, okay, and I say math.ceil here, right? What should it print? It should print 13.0. Okay, so when I run, it prints 13.0. Okay, so let's see if I make it 12.8, it will still be the same. Okay, it's rounds it up. Okay, so what does it do? It rounds it up. So that's what math.ceil is doing. So what does math.floor do? Okay, math.floor. So I come here, math.floor. It rounds it down, rounds it down. If the number is 10.6, it will round it down to 10.0. If the number is 10.4, it will still round it down. Okay, so floor means, you know what floor means, right? So down. Okay, no matter whatever the value after the decimal is, and it takes one parameter or argument. Okay, and its return type is, what is its return type? Its return type is double. Okay, so that's what math.floor does. So let's see now. I'll say math.floor. Okay, so I run, and when I run, 12. Okay, so even if I say make it 12.2, and if I run it 12.0, so no matter what the situation is, it is actually going to round it down. Just keep in mind that. And the third one in this list is, you know, math.round. Now, what does math.round do? It does what you do in maths. Okay, If it is greater than 5.5, rounds it up. Okay. If it is less than zero point 0.5, then rounds it down. Greater than or equal to, ROUNDS, rounds it down. Okay. It takes one parameter or argument. Okay. And return type is, its return type is integer. Keep in mind that, okay, it will not be returning you the double value. Another point is that math.round does what you actually do in maths. Okay, so let's see what math.round does. Math.round. So I'll go there, I'll run C12 and its return type is integer. Okay, so this is 2. If it is 8, it should give me 13. So when I run, it gives me 13, right? So that's what it does. And if it is, keep in mind, if it is 5, run 13. So up to 5, it rounds it up. Below 5, it is going to round it down. Below 5, it is going to round it down. So that's what you have to keep in mind. So if it is 4, it will round it down. Why am I emphasizing on these things? The reason is because these questions are asked year after year and you have to prepare yourself accordingly. So these are 3: math.ceil, math.flow, math.round. Math.round does what you do in maths. Okay, so if it is greater than or equal to 0.5, it will be rounding up, and otherwise it will be rounding it down. Math.ceil will round it up no matter what the number after decimal is, and math.floor will round it down no matter what the number after the decimal is. Okay, so most of these functions I have covered here, and I will see you in the next lesson with math.random, and we'll have some fun with math.random. See you then.